Okay, this is a presentation of a demonstration on a Philips vintage turntable. This is the Philips Direct Control Quartz Phase Lock Loop AF-887 auto return turntable. This is a somewhat unusual design in that it's a belt drive suspended sub chassis with a quartz lock speed control system on it. You only see the quartz lock systems on direct drives, but this happens to be a belt drive, and it also happens to be a suspended platter design. Okay, let's take a look here at the platter. Alright, underneath we have a sub platter. It's not very impressive looking, it's made out of plastic. And then as you can see, this whole thing is a sub chassis which has the sub platter and the tone arm mount on the same sub chassis, and it's suspended with these three springs here which are adjustable to level the unit. Over here we have a small DC motor, I'm assuming. Since it is a servo system, it's probably a DC motor. The whole thing gets sat on here by this aluminum platter. It's about a 2-pound platter. Normally you can't get away with a platter so light for good sound, but when you have a suspended platter like that, you can get away with a somewhat lighter platter. The suspension greatly helps reduce airborne vibration and vibration coming from your base. Okay, that covers the platter and the sub chassis. I guess we'll take a look over here now at the tone arm. It's a pretty straightforward tone arm. What you have here is a straight line tone arm with a detachable head shell. It takes a standard 1/2-inch mount phono cartridge with 4 leads. Down here we have a adjustable anti-skid via this knob, which basically sets a spring tension to give you the counterclockwise motion you need on the tone arm to compensate for skating. You adjust the tracking force by just adjusting this counterweight here. That's all very straightforward. As far as controls go, you've got these feather touch controls here. These are the kind that you don't actually push, you just touch them. As you can see here, I touched the 33 on and it starts. I can switch it to 45. I can stop it at any time. I can hit the reject button. Anytime it's running, I can hit the reject button as such, and you'll see that the arm will return to rest. As I mentioned, this is a quartz lock design. Over here we have a little light that indicates when the quartz lock has occurred. For example, here I'll turn it on, and you'll see in a couple seconds that quartz lock light will come on. When that light comes on, you know you're at the correct speed. For example, here I'll stop the platter, you'll see that light will go out, and then after a couple seconds it'll come back on once the platter achieves the correct speed. Okay, that's that. Now over here we have a fairly interesting item. It's a built-in tracking force gauge. It's essentially a small scale that weighs the tone arm at the armrest, and you get a readout in grams showing you the effective downforce of the stylus. Right now I'm set for about 1.75 grams. I don't know how accurate this is, I haven't checked it out yet, but it seems to be pretty useful. It should be fairly good for at least relative measurements. So that covers the controls, the stylus force gauge, the quartz lock, the tone arm, and the platter assembly. Okay, I guess now I'm going to put a record on there for you and give you an example of the auto return mechanism. It's pretty straightforward.